let's get started. Close your eyes. Sit in a seat that allows your spine to be long. And if sitting this morning just is not working right off the bat, then just come onto your back. We'll take these moments to let go of the things that we don't want to put into our practice today, the things we do not want to put into our cake today. We have ingredients, mind, body, heart, that we will bake into our cake, but there are lots of other ingredients that each of us will bring to the cake that we're making. I'll talk more about those as we go along, but if you have negativity in your life in this morning, leave that behind. Don't put it into your cake today. Take this moment to make the shift from whatever you were doing before. Maybe it was negativity, maybe it was chaos, maybe it was sadness. It's okay to be sad, but we're not going to put it into our cake today because we're celebrating. Leave whatever you don't want to put into your cake behind now. Bring your hands together in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra. And set your intention to make something today, right now in this class that we have together, that will allow you a way to celebrate not just what we've done together over the past 13 months, but also to celebrate you, to celebrate your community, this little virtual community that we created together, but also your larger community, the community you hold close, your family and friends, and then going out in circles from there. We've got a lot to celebrate. On an exhale, bow your head towards your heart, sealing in your intention to celebrate, put all the things that you want to bring to the forefront in your cake today, and then release your hands down to your legs. Inhale, sit up tall, roll your shoulders back, lift your head up, and then open your eyes. So I chose a cake, but you know, if you're not a cake person, what are you doing with your life? No, really, if you're not a cake person, you can make whatever you want to make. I'm going to make a cake. If you're playing music, now's the time to press play on that. I linked the Spotify playlist I made in the chat if you want to use that. And then we're going to meet in child's pose. If child's pose is not working for you, come on to hands and knees. So extended child's pose, arms out in front, forehead on the mat or close to the mat, and let everything sink down into the floor. The floor will hold whatever you want to let go here that you're not going to take forward with you into your cake. So now's the time to let go of all the things that you don't want to carry forward. Take a big inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Lift your forehead up a little bit and then lift your upper arms away from the floor. We're going to twist here. So take your left hand under your right arm, reach that left arm way over to the right, have the back of the left hand on the floor, and then see if you can get your chest a little closer to the floor. You can also do this from hands and knees if being in child's pose is not working for your ankles and knees today. We're just trying to figure out what our ingredients are. What are we dealing with today? First, body. What are we dealing with today? If you want a little bit more of a twist and you're in the child's pose, draw that right hand back about underneath the right shoulder. Push the right hand down, pull the right ribs up towards the ceiling. And then inhale, release back to your child's pose or your regular all fours. Second side, draw the hands back a little bit, lift the upper arms up, lift the chest up, take the right arm under the left arm. Right arm goes way over to the left, back of the hand on the floor, and then you can settle back down into your pose. Just a little twisting here. If you want a little bit more, draw the left hand back, push down into it, pull those left ribs up towards the ceiling. Again, we're just putting the ingredients out on the counter. We're going to work with what we've got. If we're a little short on flour, hey, it's going to be okay. Inhale, come back up to child's pose or regular all fours, and then we're all going to meet in all fours. Knees underneath the hips, wrists underneath the shoulders. Undulate your spine a little bit here. So that can be cat and cow, or it can be rolling the ribs around. I just want you to figure out what you're working with today, and we'll go from there. It's all going to turn out beautifully, no matter what we've got. As long as we put the secret ingredient in, I'll tell you what that's going to be in a little bit. Keep moving. And then come into a neutral spine. Tuck your toes under, downward facing dog. Lift your knees up. Okay, I see what I'm working with today now that I'm in downward dog. Deep inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. We're going to walk our hands back to our feet. So we stand in forward bend at the back of the mat. Fold over your legs. Put as much of a bend in them as you need. This is like, you bring the eggs to room temperature. You soften the butter by leaving it out on the counter. Oh, trying to soften the butter here on the backs of the legs. Maybe a little bend into the knees. Maybe your legs are straight and you go in a little bit deeper. Let's twist to the right. So plant your left hand on the mat or on a block about underneath your face. Put a little bend into that left knee and twist to the right. So lift that right arm up. And then just move that right arm around a little bit. So you're generally keeping the fingers reaching up towards the ceiling, but just feeling around into that shoulder a little bit. And then inhale, release. Right hand replaces the left hand. Straighten the left leg, bend the right knee, and then twist around to the left. Maybe even take your gaze up past your hand. Move your arm around a little bit. Roll your wrist around. Warming everything up. Getting it ready to become a batter. Hand back down to the mat. Take one more exhale to fold in over your legs here. And then inhale, walk out to downward dog. So that's walking the hands forward to downward facing dog. And now walk your feet forward to the front of your mat. Back into forward bend, but this time at the front of the mat. Fold in. And then inhale, rise up. Take your arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. You're going to take your right arm straight up and your left arm down. We're going to backstroke here. So take the right arm back as the left arm comes forward and up. I probably don't need to explain the backstroke to you. Just keep going. Try to keep the shoulders pretty square. They're going to sway side to side a little bit. We're just trying to open into the shoulders some. Getting everything to room temperature here. And then both hands down and behind your back. Interlace your hands. Pull the shoulders back. Slide your hands down towards the floor to get the arms straighter. And then lift the arms away from your hips. Lift your chest up. Take your gaze up. Little back bend here with the front of the shoulder opener. And then bring your hands back to your heart. We've got our ingredients, mind, body, heart. Whatever else you want to put into your cake to celebrate with, the secret ingredient is love. If you're missing a little bit of hamstring length, if you're missing a little bit of core strength, don't worry about it. That secret ingredient, love, is going to make the cake turn out beautifully. Hands to your heart. We're going to start mixing up the ingredients now. Inhale, take your arms up high, lift up. Exhale, fold down to the mat. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, downward dog. Use your breath to connect these poses. Inhale, plank, and then exhale takes you to chaturanga, all the way down to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg back and up, bend your knee and twist open. So we're going to create a stirring spoon with that right knee. You're going to keep that right knee bent. Just circle the knee around, big circles here, opening up the hip. And then circle that knee around in the other direction. And then stretch the leg behind, square the hips up. Exhale, lunge your foot to the outside of your right hand. And we're going to keep on stirring here. So again, we're going to make circles around that front ankle. The front knee is circling around the ankle. This is to help open up the hips. You can do this with the back knee down if you prefer that. And then circle in the other direction a few times. And then back to one leg dog. Reach that right leg up, and as you exhale, lunge it between your hands this time. Come to high crescent pose. Stretch your arms up. And then bend your elbows, flare them out to the sides. We're gonna hook the hands together. We're gonna put the left hand on top of the right hand. And then those hands go right above your head. So you've got that hook of the fingers, hands above the head, high crescent pose, back heel lifted. Take a breath in. As you exhale, tip that right elbow down towards the floor on the right side. Stretch out the left side body. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, tip the left elbow towards the floor, right elbow towards the ceiling. Mixing things up. Inhale up, stretch your arms up, release that hand bind. Arms reach up and then circle the arms back and slowly down. Interlace your hands behind your back, spin the back heel to the floor. You know that direction, fold in something. When you're mixing the ingredients, we're gonna fold here into humble warrior. Exhale, fold in, getting everything mixed up here. Hands come away from the back as you fold down over your leg or just inside your leg. And then release your hands down either side of the right foot. Spin the back heel up, maybe walk that back foot back a little bit. 3 times, we're gonna straighten that front leg. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Stirring things up. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. One more, straighten. Inhale, bend, twist to the right. Put weight into the left hand, lift the right shoulder up, right arm up. Maybe take a little back bend here. And then inhale, we're gonna go to side angle pose. So you can bring the right forearm to the right thigh or right fingers to the ground. Spin the back heel down, twist the left side up. So this twisting is helping us stir everything. Pull that left shoulder up, take the left arm over your ear. Right knee and hip are in line with one another. And then exhale, release, hand down to the mat. One leg dog, right leg lifts up, one leg vinyasa or 2 leg vinyasa, no vinyasa. It's your cake, you're making it, you're creating it. All right, we're still mixing things up. Inhale, left leg back and up behind you. Bend your knee, twist open. You're gonna keep that knee bent, make 3 circles in one direction with your knee. So try to make that circle big. So you're just opening up into the hip and then 3 circles in the other direction. And then stretch your leg back, square your hip up. On your exhale, lunge your left foot outside your left hand. Take your gaze forward. Instead of crouching down inside that leg, lift the heart forward, take the gaze forward. And then you're just gonna circle that left knee around 3 times one direction, 3 times the other direction, stirring everything up. And then back to one leg dog. Stretch the left leg back. On your exhale, use your core to plant your foot between your hands. High crescent pose. Back heel stays upright. Lift up here. So bend your elbows. You're going to hook your hands together above your head. This time, right hand will be on top. Take a breath in. As you exhale, dip over to the left side. Left elbow gets closer to the floor. Right elbow gets closer to the sky. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, dip the right elbow down towards the floor. Open up that left side body. Inhale, come back up. Stretch your arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, slowly reach the arms as far back behind you as you can. As you lower them down, interlace your hands behind your back. Spin the back heel down to the ground. And then exhale, fold in, humble warrior. Hands come away from the back. Crown of the head comes to the floor. Getting everything stirred in together here. And then release your hands down to the mat, either side of the front leg. Lift the back heel up. 3 times, we're gonna straighten that front leg. Use your exhale to straighten. Inhale to bend and look forward. Exhale. Inhale. One more. Exhale, straighten. And then inhale, bend, twist to the left, put weight into the right hand. Open up the left ribs, the left shoulder to the sky. Maybe a little back bend here. And then side angle pose. Either left forearm on the left thigh or left fingers to the ground. Back heel is down, either way. And then bring that right arm over your ear. Pull the right ribs back, right shoulder back. And then release your hand down to the mat. One leg dog, lift your left leg up. One leg vinyasa. Bring your feet to the top of your mat. Fold over your legs. And inhale, lift up. Take your arms up high. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. We're still mixing this, all these ingredients together. So you know how sometimes you read the ingredient list and you make sure you have all that, but you don't read the directions of the recipe and you just start doing things and it says a cup of sugar divided, but you put the whole cup in at once, it's okay. Love, the secret ingredient, is going to make it all turn out okay. But let's take a look ahead. Let's look at the cookbook. Stretch your arms straight out in front. Come onto your heels. We're going to squat down 3 times. So maybe your squat, inhale to lower. Maybe your squat is right here, and then you exhale and lift back up. Maybe your squat is all the way down, heels, hips to heels. Exhale, lift back up. 2 more squats. Try to keep your heels off the ground the whole time, looking out in front at the cookbook, seeing what's coming. 1 more time, go low. And then lift all the way up, heels to the ground, arms up overhead. Take a back bend here, and then exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lengthen out. I'll see you in downward dog. Keep stirring things up to get there. I don't know about you, what you're putting in your cake. I'm putting a little salt in mine because, you know, it's good to be a little salty. It brings the flavor out in everything. From downward dog, inhale, lift the right leg back and up. Bend your knee, twist open. First option, find a little bit of hang time under that right hand. Second option, flip over, lift your heart up, lift your hips up, come back around to one leg dog, and then use your core, lunge your right foot up between your hands, come up to warrior two. Turn your palms up towards the ceiling. As you inhale, straighten the front leg, bring your fingertips to touch overhead. Exhale, lower down, warrior two. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down, warrior two. And then straighten the front leg. We're just scraping the sides of the bowl here, making sure we get everything mixed in. Triangle pose. Lean forward and down. Maybe take that top arm over your ear to get a little extra length into the left side. Lower the left hand down to the ground. Walk your hands around to the left. So come into a wide leg forward fold. Toes pointing towards the left long side of your mat. Hands down on the mat. 4 total lateral lunges here. Let's start into the right knee. Exhale to bend it. Inhale to straighten. And left. Once more to the right. And once more to the left. And then just fold in a little bit more here. Again, some of these ingredients are delicate. You have to fold them in. Listen, go slowly as you go a little bit deeper into your forward bend. Inhale, rise up. Come back to warrior two. Turn those front toes to point forward. On your exhale, half moon pose. Come forward. Find steadiness here. And then we got to make the cake light. See if you can get a little light into that right hand. If you need the right hand on the floor, keep it there. Maybe you can lift it up a little bit. We're going to meet in a chair pose. So bring your hands to your heart. Bring that left foot down by the right foot, chair pose, and from here, crow pose. Okay, this is where the secret ingredient really helps. Love. Love for yourself. Love everybody here is supporting you and loving you, helping you lift up, make this cake light and fluffy. Lift one foot, lift both feet, squeeze the inner knees in. Good. And then lower the feet to the ground. If you want to take a vinyasa here, you can, or just stay in forward bend at the front of your mat. If you're taking the vinyasa, you're gonna finish it and then bring your feet to the top of your mat where the rest of us are waiting for you in a forward bend. And then everybody, inhale, stand up, arms up, exhale, hands to your heart. We're gonna take one last look back at the cookbook. Take your arms out in front. This is really called horizon chair. Come onto the balls of your feet. 3 squats. Remember, your squat can have a shallow depth or a deep depth. You decide. Exhale lifts you up. Try to keep the heels lifted the whole time. When you finish that 3rd squat, you're going to stand up, heels to the ground, arms to the sky, back bend, and then exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lengthen. It's vinyasa time already. Again. These ingredients are looking good. They're really coming together in a beautiful batter. I'm making a yellow cake. I don't know what you're making. If you're making a red velvet cake, just be careful mixing things because that red stuff gets everywhere in the kitchen. Inhale, left leg back and up behind you. Bend your knee, twist open. First option, stay here in the twist. Twisted one leg dog, maybe get a little lighter into the left hand. Second option is to flip over, finding that 3-pointed back bend. And then we're all gonna meet back in a one-leg dog. Exhale, lunge your left foot up between your hands. Come up to warrior two. Turn your palms up. Inhale, straighten the front leg, fingertips find one another over your head. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift, make it light. Exhale, lower. One more time, lift up, straighten the front leg, and then exhale, lower back down to warrior two. Now straighten the front leg again, triangle pose. Stretch forward, and then fingertips touch down on your block or on the floor. Roll the right ribs back. Maybe take the right arm right over your ear to get a little more length into the right side body. And then exhale, hands down to the mat. Walk them around until you're in a wide leg forward bend, facing the right long side of your mat, and fold in here. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward. We'll take 4 total side lunges on this side. Let's start bending into the left knee. Go at the depth that's right for you. And then when you finish that 4th one, just fold back in again. Go a little bit deeper here. Yeah, you look great. These are going to be some beautiful cakes. And then inhale, lift back up, standing all the way up. Take warrior two. So left toes point towards the front of your mat. Open the arms out front and back. And then from warrior two, we go to half moon pose. So take a breath in. Use your exhale to come forward into half moon. You're supported here by your core, by your strong standing leg. Maybe you can start to lift the left hand off the mat, maybe even bringing the hands to the heart. We're going to meet in chair pose with the hands at the heart. So slowly start to bring that right foot down to meet the left. Turn to face the front of your mat, chair, and then crow, hands to the floor. Remember, you got love in your cake. It's one of the essential ingredients, and you got love all around you, helping you lift up into your chair. This is our last arm balance of the practice. And then from here, come into standing forward bend. If you want to take another vinyasa here, you can, or hold the forward bend, opening the backs of the legs, your choice. It's your cake, right? You can even put in any poses that you like. There you go. I see those feet off the ground. Beautiful, strong core. Squeeze those knees in. Good job. We're all going to meet in forward bend at the front of our mats. I think we're there. Inhale, rise up, stand up tall. Exhale, hands to your heart. All right, we got everything mixed up. We put it into the cake pans. It's time to put it in the oven. Take your feet a little wider apart. We're going to come into a squat. So for some of us, the squat is here. This is what works for us. For some of us, the squat is down here. You decide where your squat is, because we're putting that cake in the oven. So we've got a range here, not a wall oven. So we got to get down low. Open that oven door. Do it with me. Slide your cake in. Close the oven door. Bring your hands together and pray that this thing turns out. And it will, because we're baking love into our cake, our celebratory cake. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, forward fold. Straighten those legs, work them in about hip width distance apart. Inhale, lengthen forward. I'll see you in downward dog again. Okay, from downward dog, we got to build a little heat. The cake is in the oven. We got to keep the temperature steady. Inhale into plank. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. See if you can hold chaturanga just for a beat and then lower all the way down. Inhale, upward dog, tops of the feet and palms on the mat, heart reaching forward, shoulders reaching back. On your exhale, lower down to your mat. Roll over onto your back. From here, take a breath in and exhale, come up to boat pose. So we're going to have the knees bent, shins parallel to the ground, arms stretching out towards the feet. Building heat here while the cake is baking in the oven. As you inhale, come down to low boat. So hover the legs, hover the upper back, exhale, lift back up, half boat. Keep going. Inhale low, exhale lift. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. We got 3 more. And now just 1 more. And then come to a seat on your mat. Stretch your legs out in front. You're probably facing the back of your mat. It doesn't really matter. Inhale, arms up overhead, seated forward bend. Exhale, fold over. Use your hands to grab where you can on your legs. So maybe that's around your shins, your ankles, maybe your feet, but fold in here. And then inhale, lift back up to a seat. So we're going to bend the knees. We're going to start out with the soles of the feet on the mat. Knees are bent. Take your right arm underneath your leg. So your forearm, right forearm, will come underneath your thighs. If that doesn't work for you, right hand will hold the outside of the right thigh, just above the knee. Now come onto your tip toes. So you still got the hips on the ground, tip toes onto the floor, and then see if you can wrap that left forearm under and behind the legs. Try to pull your thighs towards your chest and your chest towards your thighs. So you're really pulling into a ball here. Tip toes. Start to stretch or lift the right foot off the ground. You're probably going to have to lean back a little bit and then lift the left foot off the ground. So we're hugging those thighs into the chest, chest up to the thighs. Building a little bit of core heat here. Next thing to do here is straighten that right leg. So point those right toes right up at the ceiling and then straighten the left leg. Take your gaze up past your toes. Flare the toes out. So think about having a Barbie doll foot here, pressing the balls of the feet forward, spreading the toes wide. Maybe you stay here with the forearms wrapped around the backs of the thighs. Maybe you take your hands up to the outer edges of your feet. Try to close that gap between your legs and your chest. Take your gaze up, still balancing here. And then exhale, release. Cross-legged seated position. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come back up, stretch onto your back. Bridge pose, bend your knees, soles of the feet on the ground, lift the hips up. If you can, interlace the hands beneath you, press into your feet, arms, back of the head, open the front of the body up here. We had it closed up a long time. Now we're building heat in the back body. Really push those feet down, give a little squeeze into the glutes, a squeeze into the backs of the arms by pressing the hands down, and then inhale, release. Stretch your legs back out, roll back to your belly, So now we're on our bellies, facing the front, our crown of the head, facing the front of the mat. Still building that heat. Tuck the toes under, get the legs strong. We're gonna come up the hard way. Take a breath in. We're gonna go a little bit of exhale will take us into chaturanga, full exhale to plank. Take a breath in here, a little exhale, chaturanga, and then plank, and then downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift your right leg back and up behind you. Exhale, lunge that right foot to the top of your mat. Come up to warrior two. We still got to keep the heat going. Cake is still in the oven. Straighten the right leg, turn your toes to point towards the left long side of your mat. And if you need to turn around and look at me, do that. I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. Building heat. Hands are going to come to the heart. You're going to take a side lunge into your back leg. So it's going to be your left leg. You can get really deep here or keep it high. And then you're going to push off of that leg and come into a curtsy lunge. If you watch The Crown, you're going to do that low curtsy like Margaret Thatcher did. Inhale up and then back into your side lunge 3 times. Let's do it together. If you've already started, keep going. If you're going with me, hands to your heart. Take a breath in, exhale, side lunge. Inhale, lift up, push off, curtsy lunge. Exhale, side lunge, curtsy lunge. Build that heat, bake your cake. When you finish 3, some of you are doing a lot more, you like the heat, come back into your wide leg stance, and then pivot around to face the front of your mat. So widen the feet out so you're not on a balance beam, your feet are more on railroad tracks and not on the same line on your mat. Front leg is straight, bring your hands behind your back. So just rest the hands on the low back here. Pull the shoulders back. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, bend into the front knee. We're going to a variation of warrior 3. Hands stay on your low back. Slowly lift the back leg off the mat. Find your warrior 3 and 3 times pulse that left leg towards the ceiling. 1, using the muscles on the back of the leg. 2, and then 3. Slowly step the foot back. Warrior 1, hallelujah. Lift up, exhale, hands down to the mat. 1 leg dog, right leg lifts, 1 leg flow. Cake is about halfway baked. Inhale, lift your left leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, lunge your left foot up between your hands, top of your mat. And then come up to warrior 2. Bring your hands to your heart and pivot around to face the right long side of your mat. So again, 3 times, we're going to do the side lunge into the right leg and then the curtsy lunge. Go at your pace, go at your depth. Take a breath in, exhale, side lunge, curtsy. Exhale, side lunge, curtsy. When you finish 3 of those, just step back into your wide leg stance. And then pivot around back to the front of your mat. Make sure your feet are about hip width distance apart. You've got the left foot in front and the right foot in back, but they're not on a balance beam here. They've got some separation. Bring your hands behind your back and just rest them at your low back here. Pull your shoulders back. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, start to bend into the front knee. Reach your chest forward. Take your gaze forward towards the wall in front of you. Slowly lift the back leg. And then 3 pulses. 1 and 2 and 3, and then slowly step back into lunge, lower the back heel down, warrior 1, lift your arms up, lift your heart up, open up here, exhale, hands down to the mat, last bit of heat here, one leg flow. Cake is almost ready to come out of the oven. Bring your knees down to the mat. We're gonna come back into child's pose. We'll take that cake out of the oven and let it cool a little bit. If child's pose is not for you, any pose that feels like a resting pose for you. As our cake cools down, we're gonna get ready to decorate it. My favorite part. So here, think about a pose or two that have meant something to you during this last 13 months. And we're gonna do Yogi's Choice. This is gonna be, you're gonna start decorating your cake with a pose that feels like it really represents you. So me, I'm gonna come into triangle pose again because I love it. And it's had some meaning to me over these last 13 months. For you, it might be crow pose. It might be handstand. It might be corpse pose, but I want to let you know, if you pick corpse pose, that's not where we're going to stay. We've got some other poses to do. So we're just going to take a few breaths here. For you, this could be a dance break around your room. If you want, turn your camera off, dance around your room. This is a time to celebrate. If you choose a one-sided pose like I have, triangle pose, then you're going to need to do it on the other side as well. But remember, this is your opportunity to decorate your cake. Swirl that icing on as thick as you like. Got about another minute here for you to go through your posture. And then we are going to meet seated on the floor, but I want to let you know that we're all going to stand back up for one more pose right at the end of practice or towards the end of practice. But for now, we're still decorating your cake. Come to a seat. Bring the soles of your feet together, and then with your hands, first option is to grab the hands right at the bottom of the shin and use the hands pulling against the shins to lift your heart up. Second option, if your hips are more open and your outer knees are close to the floor, is to bring your hands under the outer edges of your feet. So you come in and under here. Either way, lift your heart up and then exhale, fold forward. You can put candles on your cake. You can put sprinkles on it. You can write something on your cake. And then inhale, come back up. We're going to straighten out the right leg, straighten the left leg. And then we're going to cross the right leg on top. So your right knee is going to bend, your kneecap points forward. You're trying to draw your right heel back towards your left hip here. Lift the heart up, and as you exhale, fold forward. Maybe take your hands out somewhere onto your left leg or left foot. Inhale, lift your torso up. We're going to go for that seated pigeon pose. So bring the right ankle above the left knee. Take your hands behind you. Lean back a little bit. Bend the left knee, sole of the left foot on the ground. You can rock your legs back and forth a little bit here to help loosen up the muscles around the right hip. And then as you're decorating your cake, let's make it a little fancy. Draw the shoulders back. We're going to come into reverse tabletop with this figure 4 or pigeon legs. Take a breath in. Exhale. Lift your hips. Lift your heart. And then inhale. Lower back down. Straighten the legs out. Second side. Right leg will stay straight. Half cowl faced pose. So we're going to bend that left knee, pull the left heel back towards your right hip. You're trying to stack the left knee on top of the right, left kneecap pointing forward. Inhale, lift your chest up, and then exhale, take your chest forward and your hands down somewhere onto your leg and fold in. Inhale, lift back up, come into that seated pigeon. So bring your left ankle above your right knee, bend your left foot, sole of the foot on the floor. Hands are behind you to support you. Maybe rock the legs back and forth a little bit here. We're still decorating. In a moment, we're going to put a cake topper on our cake. But let's still make whatever else we're decorating with a little bit fancy. Come into that reverse tabletop, keep the legs as they are, lift the hips up, take your gaze up, lift your heart up, and then exhale, lower your hips to the ground, straighten your legs out, shake them out a little bit, and then we're gonna stand up together. So this is the cake topper that we're gonna create together. We're going to come into a tree pose. And what I want you to imagine is your cake, whether it's a round cake, rectangular, heart-shaped, whatever you've made, around the perimeter of the cake is going to be all of us, plus all the people in your community. We're going to hold one another in love. Put your weight into your right foot. I'm going to get on my right foot too, just so that we're all on the right foot. And then bring the sole of the left foot, either ball of the foot onto the floor and heel pressing into your inner ankle, or sole of the foot on your calf or sole of your foot on your inner thigh. And then take your arms out to the sides. And imagine that you have your hands on the backs of all the people here you've been practicing yoga with, virtually holding each other in this space. Imagine all around the perimeter of your cake, all the people you love, you're holding them up with your hands, and they're holding you up with their hands. Let's gently release, hands to the heart, left foot down. We'll go to the second side. You got this. This is the topper on the cake. Stand onto your left foot. Sole of the right foot comes somewhere inside the left leg. And then take your arms out. Wrap your arms around your loved ones. Hold them gently. Help them stay steady in an unsteady time. We made something beautiful together. Also feel hands on your back, holding you, lifting you up. Take one more breath in here, and then exhale, foot to the ground, hands to your heart, close your eyes here. Stand on your own 2 feet, but see if you can feel support, love, holding you, keeping you steady. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, release your hands down and open your eyes. It's time for Shavasana. Come down onto your mat. This is really when we taste the cake. If you need some finishing poses I didn't offer, please go ahead and take those. But this time now is a time for us to enjoy what we've created. Just today in our practice, we created some openness in our bodies, some strength in our bodies. We created a connection of mind, body, and heart. We called in the ingredients that we wanted in our celebratory cake today. And I hope you really felt loved and supported by those around you. I hope you felt their hands on your back. And I hope you felt the joy of reaching out and holding someone, lifting them up. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. And let yourself go. Taste the sweetness of your practice. Feel the love and support from all around you. Take a deep breath in and slowly let that breath go. One more opportunity here to let go of anything that's going to rain on your party, your celebration. Start to gently move your body. Start with fingers and toes. Wake up your wrists and your ankles. Stretch your arms overhead. Reach your legs a little bit longer. Feel the length you created in your beautiful body. And then on an exhale, roll to your side, right side if that's comfortable for you. And take a moment here to honor yourself, honor your awesome baking skills, honor your ability to stay consistent with your practice, honor your ability to put into your life all the ingredients that make it sweet. And then as you're ready, come up to a seat. Close your eyes and join your hands at your heart. I hope that as you go through your day, you're able to continue celebrating. You're able to continue finding the sweetness in your life that comes from the source of this practice. I hope that you're able to feel gentle, supportive hands on your back. Let's take a moment to send our energy out to those in need. Gently place our hands on their backs, holding them up. Namaste. Thank you, everybody.